How you doing, guys? Sorry it's been a while since my last upload. I've just been busy doing other things. I can't really say any more than that, really. Life has just been busy. So yeah, I thought I'd make this video. It's a couple of days late because I've had other things to do that have naturally got in the way of being able to get some time to record the video, but I wanted to do an update on the video from 3 or 4 years ago of the mother denying child access that I hashtagged Fathers for Justice, which I still very much stand by. So, that video came out in 2017 and we're now 2021, so it's been exactly 4 years since that video. Jacoby is coming up to 5. He'll be 5 in November. And honestly, if I was to give you the roughest of rough updates, nothing's changed. So let's get into what's happened over the last 4 years. I have fought like hell to see Jacoby, and I've had court paperwork which I've filled out and submitted back. I managed to get his birth certificate, so I was able to provide that as proof and also open a bank account for him, which is currently receiving cash as, well, monthly to as often as I can get it, but usually monthly. And he now has money that he will receive when he turns 18. So there is no one on this planet that can say I am not doing anything for him. I am working as hard as I can from my home, which is 195 miles away from him. So when that video came out in 2007, it was filmed in a bedroom I was using at an old acquaintance's place I was staying at. I'm not going to call him Frank because honestly he's a twat, but it is what it is. That doesn't matter though, that's not for this video. We're focusing on one thing and one thing only. So over the last 4 years, I went from that place to living in a foyer in Birmingham to then, 4 years ago, getting this place. 3-4 years ago, I got this place, and I've been here ever since. And since that time, I've been in employment. I've managed to get my own things done to sort myself out. Obviously, I released a video a month or so ago on the complex PTSD. Oh God, it might be longer than that actually. It's been some time since I did that video. So I've done the video on living with complex PTSD, and all while fighting for Jacoby. So in that time, have I seen him at all? So when I made the video, I had not long come back from Northumberland. It weren't long after he was born. And like I say, I was living in an acquaintance's place. Shortly after that, May of that year, I moved into a foyer in Birmingham city centre. About a month after that, after moving into there, yes, I caught a coach and I went to see him. He was about 6 months old, and to hold him in my arms was just majestic. It was amazing. And I got plenty of time to see him and know that he was okay and just hold him in my arms and do what a dad does. So that was over the period of a couple of days, and from there I had smatterings of video calls varying, and we go from then to now in that sense. So I've had the odd amount of video calls that have been very stop and starting. Now, am I seeing him right now? No. And that is simply because back in November, just close to his birthday, I was informed of plans by my ex-partner's aunt of his birthday plans, which involved a wacky warehouse and a big party at some pub. So I said, well, naturally, give me the details, I'm going to come. It's my son's birthday. I've not spent a birthday with him for years, so I want to at least see him. And they were like, no, you're not welcome. You're not welcome to your own child's birthday. So I said, what's the reason for this? No reason, we just don't want you there. It's like, oh, so again, you're playing God with my child. We're back to this old saga. And ever since that time, I've not seen him. We're now in May of 2021. I haven't seen him in, that would probably indicate about 6 months, near enough. 5 to 6 months at best. And that is the way it has been since 2017. I have had, out of the near 1,500 days, that's just a rough indication, by the way, I've probably had about 100 days worth of video calls with him. Literally, that is about it. And they vary from a minute long to 5 minutes long to 20 minutes long. Never any longer than 20 minutes, so, and that was it. And it was always ran by the ex-partner's aunt. Laura never wanted to do a thing, which brought me to doing my own sort of research, creating a female account with pictures that I had permission to borrow, building up an account over a period of time, and actually adding her, and seeing roughly what was going on. And it was always her being tagged with multiple different friends, doing all kinds of different things. And I thought, fair enough. At first, fair enough. She needs her own time. But then I noticed the consistency in these tags with other people and how close together they were. And I mean, they were only a day or so apart. And I thought, what is she actually doing with my son? Is she even looking after him? But then I was told by her own aunt that Jacoby was staying with his nan, her mom, on quite a consistent basis. I must say, for the record, this was 2018. Long story short, yes, she was being a mom, but she was also going out quite consistently too, more than what the average mother would do. If a mother was, say, going out every weekend, one night every weekend, full support. But when it's every other day, it kind of raises the question that, yeah, you can do what you want with your life, but why can't I have my child if you're going to go and do them things? Why can't I have my son? Because at this point, I was living in the foyer in Birmingham. I could have easily got a coach for close to £8-9, book in a hotel and have him there. But it never arisen. And I did ask. I did pursue it. And it was always, no, you're not having him. But it was never Laura telling me. It was always her aunt trying to manipulate and control situations involving my son. So, what's next? Because I could bring up scenarios and situations. I have evidence to support off my computer, but I just simply haven't got the time to play the blame game and he's done this and she's done that, because it just isn't worth it. So what's happening next? Court. Simply court. I have built up enough evidence now where I am pursuing this through the justice system. Like I say, the paperwork has been done and submitted. A lot of people would say, well, why wasn't this done sooner? Simply because I had mental health issues that were very, very, very bad, as documented in the complex PTSD video. And I had to sort that out. I had to repair that before I knew I could go to my son, 100% actively healthy, and say, I'm your dad, let's get this done, let's be father and son for the next however many years until the day I die. Let's go on trips, go on adventures, go on holidays. Let's do what a father and son should do. Even if it's talking about women when he turns 18 and how he needs help with the birds and the bees. I don't bloody know. Whatever it comes to. I would rather have done that when I was mentally fit enough to do so. And believe me, I am now. Don't get me wrong. I am not telling you I've made some kind of miraculous recovery from complex PTSD. I haven't. It will stay with me for the rest of my life. But it can remiss. It can go into remission. And it can settle down when you know the answers to everything. I don't know if you guys were aware, but there was a childhood sexual abuse video. I can't go into too much detail about it, but it is now with the CPS. The whole case. It was finally reported. I spoke out about it, and it's now sitting with the police, and hopefully it'll go to court, but I can't get involved with that. Well, I can't talk about it until, let's say, after it's done, or maybe even ever if I can be bothered, because I might not want to. Because, quite honestly, it's done. So obviously court is next. Sorry, give me a second, guys. My throat was starting to dry up. So court is next. And I aim on just having my own visiting or contact rights strengthened and established. And from what my solicitor has told me, just fighting for that alone shows good enough cause, and to the fact that Laura is denying that is showing that she is more than happy to use a child as a weapon, ultimately. And this is what I find wrong about parents that do that. Now, I'm not saying it's all mothers, because I know parents, well, innocent mothers where the father has custody, and they do it. So, it's not all mothers, it's fathers too. I find it disgusting that they use a child as a weapon, because in later life, and I know this from experience, because my mum did it to my dad, it causes mental confusion, and the kids have questions, the answers will come in two different forms, and they don't know which way to turn, they don't know what to believe, which causes damage in here. I've been through it, I know it. And it breaks my heart more than anything to see my son go through it. The fact that Laura is doing this to my son makes me feel physically sick, boils my blood. But what can I do? The story still remains the same. You cannot get legal aid under certain amount of circumstances unless there was violence in the relationship, which there never was. So that kind of leaves me needing to save up X amount of money in court fees and solicitors, that kind of stuff. But if it gets me my son, I'm going to do it. I don't care what it takes. Because my son means everything to me. He is my son. I tick because of him. Now, I've been sent several pictures by different people in the northeast of another man holding my child. And witness accounts of Jacoby calling him dad. And Laura not doing a thing to correct it. And neither is the man in question. So when Jacoby inevitably learns that his actual dad is going to court for his contact rights for him, that is going to affect him mentally by the fact that he's going to wonder, well, who's the man that I've been calling daddy for so long? Now, Jacoby, I hope that one day you see this video and know that I fought for you and will continue to fight for you. And maybe one day we'll sit down and watch this video together. But do know one thing, I will never give up on you. You are my son. You are my flesh and blood. You are what keeps me going. I only have one child, and that is you. Subject to change maybe in the future, I don't know. But you are my world, and I will never, ever give up on you. I love you more than you can imagine. And so does your family down here. Your Auntie Lisa, your Grandad Paul, your great-granddad Reg and great-grandma Beryl. We all love you dearly. And we will all support you. Now, there was your great-grandma Joan as well, who is there. But she went to heaven. And I know that she watches over you just as much as me. You are my little boy, Jacoby. And I won't ever give up on you. I will never stop fighting. I will take this every angle I can to get you back. Okay, now there's that. So, I am not looking to fight for immediate and full-time custody of Jacoby, because I know it simply won't happen. Because of the gap in years that I haven't seen him. Solicitors have already told me this, but they have said I have an immense chance at getting him just for contact, and having him down here on visits and holidays and stuff like that. Which, for a starter, is all I want, because I can bond with him enough. But one thing I've never understood about Laura and her family is, not only did she never want to do anything, but her family itself, as in her aunt, her mom, her brothers, they always have to try and be the parents over the actual parents. They are that kind of, especially her aunt and her mum, they try to rule my child's life like they're the parents. Like they have 100% say and not myself and my ex-partner. Laura will debate this, but I seen it firsthand. I seen everything when I lived up there. I mean, when the birth certificate was done and signed and printed and made, her aunt demanded that it went to her and that she put it into her safe. And I was like, well, no, he's my son. I'll look after it. I will hold on to it with Laura. He's our child, it'll stay with us. But somewhere along the way, Laura had agreed to it, prehistorically before she even knew she was getting pregnant with Jacoby, and somehow I had no option in the matter. So there is a lot of, shall I say, bitterness and element of permanently needing control between her aunt and mother. And in that sense, I am glad I got the hell out of there when I did. In other senses, I wouldn't have gone if I could have. Because of my son. Has nothing to do with Laura. I have been in love since Laura. I have felt 100% committed love to someone else who now lives in the same town as me. We're not together anymore for other reasons, that doesn't matter, but we still talk, we're still friends, and the strength is still there. Maybe one day we could be back together, maybe not. You just can't call things. But I have felt love way more than I ever felt for Laura. But at that time, I thought I was in love with her. And it was only being in real love that I realised I wasn't. But that was way after coming back. So, we're losing track of the subject now. I seem to be disappearing into some kind of other conversation, but the simple fact is I'm going to court for Jacoby, I'm going to fight for him, and I'm going to win. There is no differentiating. Even though this isn't really about winning and losing, I will win the rights to my son. Simple fact. I will get visitation orders and visitation rights. So here's a personal message to Laura, because I know at some point someone will show her this video and she will look at it. If you wanted 100% rights, and if you didn't want me to be in Jacoby's life, you should have played a better game at not having me on the birth certificate. You should have gone other elements of ways around it, because I signed that birth certificate. I, by law, have 50% rights, just as much as you. I am Jacoby's dad. Now, I don't hate you. I feel sorry for you in a way, to be living with the family that you have, that have done nothing but control you and contradict your every movement all of your life. Because this is what it's done to you. And now that is what is going into my son's head. And I won't stand for that. I won't have it. And I will fight against it. So, his birth certificate, give me a second, guys. Because I don't want them to think I'm just talking crap, shall we say. His birth certificate is in my possession. his bank account is live and he's receiving funds. If I weren't his dad, or if you thought you had the control that you thought you did, how the hell did I manage to get that? It's obvious. By having the same rights as you. So, I am no longer taking this to mediation because it has never worked. You have never wanted to get involved with it. So now the only thing left to do is take it to the court. Because everything with mediation, and both the one in Birmingham and the one in Lichfield, have documented the fact that you have refused. And I also get the feeling you'll refuse court. But the simple fact is, you'll most likely be arrested if you try and refuse it. Well, I don't know about arrest. I've read multiple different things online. If you refuse to turn up in court, they can arrest you and summon you. But I don't know the truth on that. I've read multiple different things, and they come from everywhere, and, you know. But one thing is for certain. I will win, one way or the other. I will get my child back. And he will see the life in the Midlands that he deserves to see. The family that are missing out on seeing him because of you. He will see them again. I guarantee it. He will meet... He's met him on video, but he'll meet the snake that he used to say, "Can I see snake?" That was probably one of the final times, guys, that I seen him. And he was like, "I see snake." So I used to get Shaddocks out, and he'd be like, "Ooh, snake." So we'll be able to meet him. But let's go one step at a time first. Let's get it to court. Let's get this ball rolling. And if I have to save up for the next 2 to 3 years to get it to court, I'm more than happy to do so. Because as long as I know in here that it's going to court, nothing else matters. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. I've rambled on for 28 minutes, so I need to go and do some more work elsewhere and get other things done with the flat. And yeah, thank you guys for following this journey for the last however many years it's been. And for the small amount, the 20, I think it's on 29 subscribers now, the channel, but the small number of subscribers that are subscribed to the channel, I thank you dearly for following this long and listening to the story and being supportive. And to the 900 odd people that have viewed the previous videos from 2017, and that have wrote comments and that have been supportive in that sense, I love you all and thank you so, so much. Thank you, everyone, for the support that you have shown through this journey. But guys, I believe in positivity now, and the only way is up. So now it's time to fight positively, get my son back, and be a dad. Guys, thank you again. It's been lovely to be able to speak to you all again. I'll try and update you as soon as I can, or talk to you about something else. Guys, again, thank you. Bye-bye.